waiting room, folks. Grab your cookies and climb on in to the elevator. We're going all the way up to the 10th floor to talk about this week's General Hospital.
Indeed, we are.
Exciting. Exciting. Climb on into the elevator, folks. It's not just us. It's not just Matt and Kat. Of course, the chat is full of General Hospital fans and people who like to talk about imaginary food. Chandra's here. Carolyn Kita, as in Chiquita.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. Rochelle is here. Let's see. Laura's back. Hi, Laura. Kelly, we're live. I pushed the button.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Lee, hello, Lee. Michelle, Cindis, Carolyn. And that's it. That's everybody that said hello. But if you're just hanging out in the wings, type a hello or leave a little heart reaction now. Let us know you're here. Let us know how much you love Sam McCall, because we love her, and so does Port Charles. You know, so in today's cover art, I've got Rocco and Laura in the chapel. You know, I don't know what week that was. I don't know if this week, last week, whatever. It all blends together right now.
Kind of, sort of, does.
Because we were sort of halfway off last week, as we attended the Day of Days event for Days of Our Lives.
Sure did.
But so I've got them, and then in the little subheading, because I got a subheading, and it says plus. Other over 30 characters appeared on General Hospital this week. Over 30 of them. Now, this could be normal for all I know, but I noticed it this week. Oh my gosh. So, Mama.
It didn't feel like 30.
It didn't feel like 30. We had Alexis, Dante, Danny, Scout, Rocco, Laura, Jason, Sunny, Olivia, Brooklyn, Chase, Drew, Willow, Michael, Sasha, Cody, Tracy, Molly, TJ, Christina, Lucas, Brad, Carly, Sidwell, Isaiah, Portia, Curtis, Ned, Nina, Ava, Robert, Holly, Brennan, Anna, Elizabeth, Rick. And I probably missed a couple.
Man, that Rick is slick, didn't he? And he's slick.
Holy smokes. Hello, Melissa. Melissa's here as well.
Hey, Melissa.
And Kaiwan. Hello, Kaiwan. Hi.
Hi, Kaiwan.
Wendy's. Ooh. I like Wendy's. It's early.
I like Wendy's chili.
It's 11 a.m. for me, though. It's too early for Wendy's.
I like Wendy's chili. And I was disturbed. Do you know that Wendy's chili is available in the grocery store in a can? Wendy's chili.
That's not, you said disturbed? That's disturbing?
Yeah, I was disturbed by it. And this, I'll tell you really why.
Okay.
It wasn't the fact that I saw it, because I wanted to actually buy it. Because I enjoy Wendy's chili. Not for $6. No, thank you.
Oh, that's expensive.
Can of chili for $6?
You can get it for cheaper at the Wendy's. Just go to the Wendy's and get it for $3.
Right. Gosh.
Oh my gosh. Kawan says, with all these characters, it's starting to feel like when I started watching the show in mid-2000. No, I don't know if it just stands out to me this week. Like I said, they could have 38 characters on every week for all I know. I'm not paying that close attention. But it stands out this week because it just felt so seamless. They were all supposed to be there.
I'm surprised because it seems so Sam-centric that I wouldn't have guessed 30 characters.
I mean, that just goes to show how far-reaching Sam's character really was. I mean, it has to be after 21 years.
Even though you can count her too, you didn't say her, so it's 31.
Sure. I mean, I named over 30 to begin with. With Sam, we're going to call it 32, 33. Something like that. Yeah, I'll put Sam there at the end. I didn't really count her because she was just kind of laying there. But hey, those are Kelly Monaco appearances.
Well, and they did flashbacks too, though.
They did do some flashbacks. They did.
So, which character did you think was, because I didn't think it was Alexis this week. Which character did you think was the most broken-hearted?
You didn't think it was Alexis?
Not this week. Last week I didn't. This week I really, I was just really, I loved Dante on Friday. I thought his story was, Dominic did such a good job with it. And I always love it when I can see real emotion, real heartache, real anything in expression. You can tell a story without saying something. And Dante, I thought his grief was just, I felt like he was like up to here, choked with about to fall apart. all the time.
I see it. I see what you mean. I can get on board that train. He's just incredibly broken. Alexis is shredded, and he's cracked.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But I guess, of course, the first week, Alexis, and she had lots, she's still, yeah, I see all the brokenness for sure. But I just thought that Dominic really brought it this week. And I was happy to see on Friday too that, because I'm sure a lot of us, and including myself, when she was in the hospital and stuff, is why isn't Olivia there? Olivia should be there.
She's at home talking to
She
Alexis.
was home taking care of those passful kids. I understand.
Oh my gosh, just I mean, that's what you need. You just
I understand.
You need somebody to watch over the 1,200 kids that live in the Courtroom mansion.
Yeah.
Can
but
rely
I'm
on
sure
Yuri for that.
the children this week were probably a little easier to take care of, though, because Grandma came back and Ace is a terror.
His Cassadine blood bakes hot. What can we say? It runs hot.
So maybe it's a little easier with Ace gone. And, I'm sure he was a disturber too, kind of stirring the pot in the nursery. Oh, let's do this. You know how you got that one little kid instigator all the time?
Oh my gosh, thank God Ace wasn't in the nursery on freaking Wednesday or whatever it was. Jeez, I'm glad all of those kids were busy doing something else other than wanting to take a nap or play with a toy. I laugh when they were talking about, okay, so Dante wins. Dante wins in the chat, and Dante wins in your heart as well. So Dante wins the week when it comes to being the most sad over Sam's death.
I just thought it was so good. And he just seems so, and he basically said it on Friday too. He's just so lost.
He has said on a couple occasions that he doesn't want to continue without Sam, which is interesting. Because Alexis said the same thing, but she's been able to. Like she has tasks to do and things to handle, and she's been able to, and she's got other. She's just is able to move forward a little bit, and Dante looks to be a little bit frozen in time.
Yes.
From this.
Yes.
Like
yes.
He's like, I even thought all the kids were gonna come back and live with us for a while, and like just kind of keep the Sam family alive for as long as he can.
I think Alexis is kind of barking up the wrong tree a little bit with just assuming she's going to be able to take these children.
I don't know if she's assuming it, but she's starting to declare it.
Yeah, she's starting to declare. I understand that Dante is not the biological father of Danny nor Scout, so he wouldn't have claims on them.
Mm-hmm.
But they do have fathers in town.
Mm-hmm. But she's got reasons why they shouldn't.
Well, she's got reason why she shouldn't. But she's told two people now that she thinks these children should come live with her.
Yeah.
Well, the two people that she should have discussed it with are not who she was speaking.
Well, of course not, Ma. What's she going to do? Go talk to Jason first?
No, but I think that Jason or Drew or both might say, hey, wait a minute.
Of course they are, which is why, and this is what, of course. What she's trying to do, maybe she's trying to get people to say, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Kind of get a couple more people to be like, yes, before she brings it up to the dads. Kind of testing the waters, trying to gain some allies.
And I honestly think that Drew would go along with it a little more readily right now than Jason would.
Mm-hmm.
Because Drew's already, he's in quicksand. He's all the way up to his knees in quicksand. He don't even know it.
Well,
he's a little distracted too.
Yes, I guess time is going to tell when it comes to how all of this is going to play out. Because in that episode, she's detailing these reasons why, as we're seeing the reasons why. Like, Jason's on this adventure right now trying to save Sasha and gets blown up in this warehouse. And then Drew's on the other side being like, hey, Scout, oh, I'm so sad for you. Get out of this room for a little while I quartermain. Like,
right?
So she's not wrong. She's not wrong. I don't know. It's gonna be tough because I think we're might potentially have three parties that are trying to kind of vie for the children. But ultimately, of course, they should go with their dads.
Well, their dad should at least have a stinking choice.
It would be the most fun because I want to see the Jason has to raise Danny stuff. I know that I'm not always here for a kid-centric teen story, but that's one I'm interested in. I think Danny's of the right age for them to be able to make it fun.
And it's not going to be all that different than if they went with their dads, it wouldn't be all that different than what they had before their mom. Because anytime they needed a place to go because of this, that, or the other thing, work or career or just, whatever, where do they go anyway? They go to the Quartermains.
Yeah.
Their life would be the least affected.
I mean, it's easy when you're Alan's grandkids. You just show up at the house.
And you can just go ask Monica. She let anybody come live there.
Monica's too busy to think about it. All right, she's running a hospital from bed. Okay, she's like, yeah, whatever. Just stay in the. I don't care. I don't go downstairs anymore. Why are you asking me? Go talk to Olivia.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my gosh! Hello, Estee.
It was funny too on Friday. I think it was Friday. Maybe it was Thursday. Tracy was critiquing the fact about the food, because Sasha's not there and she's not there, and these kids are living off of, I don't know. Olivia right there.
Yeah.
I'm sure she put her apron right back on.
Of course she did. Of course she did. She's not living off of peanut butter and jelly. All right.
Exactly.
Home cooked, full course meals from me. Oh, and Rocco's grandma is there too. One big family under one roof, says Chandra. Look at that. There's room for all the There's room for all those kids at the Quartermain house.
Absolutely.
Just get bunk beds. Rocco and Danny sharing a room, bunk beds.
They wouldn't have to, but maybe they would want to.
Scout just slides into where Violet was staying.
Well, yeah, that little girl room's all set up.
And then they can all be very excited over the new baby that is gonna be really difficult to come for those crazy kids. Chase and Brooklyn. But I think everybody's right. I think the chat is right from what they said last time. I do think that hello again.
They have to come back, okay?
So what do you think? Do you think that Brooklyn in real life might be pregnant? Do you think the actress might be pregnant in real life? I think so.
I heard that they were.
Well,
I heard that it was actually.
I mean, I know
Amanda Sutton is indeed the child.
So on TV sometimes they try to hide it when an actress is pregnant until they can figure it out with the story. And so they have her wear big jackets or loose flowing things or stand behind a couch or hold a pillow or have a big purse or all kinds of different things.
You look like a three-headed monster, you guys.
Oh my gosh. It's my Hydra family. Oh my goodness.
Here's one granddaughter, and here's the other.
Well, the chat says hello, hi, yes, howdy, girls. Chandra says hi, grandbabies.
Yep, grandbabies. All right, you guys.
Bye, Uncle Matt.
Bye. It's good to see you again.
Shut the door, chick. Thank you.
Hey, Michelle. Jeannie says, ooh, her face is puffy. That's also a sign, right? Like your face gets a little rounder. You need to buy a bigger bra. That sort of stuff. I don't know what's going on in real life, but I can say that even though
I heard that Amanda is indeed having another baby.
I think the chat has said that, and we can trust the chat on a lot of things that they say. But I think
also I heard Sonia's with child too.
Sonia?
Isn't that her name?
I don't know who Sonia is. I'm sorry. Who does she play?
Sasha?
Sophia.
Yeah.
Sophia Matson.
Sophia.
I don't know anything about that. I don't know where that baby would come from.
I heard she was kind of having
I guess if it's Michael's kid.
Well, yeah.
I don't know, man.
We talked about that last week. Michael's gonna have a bunch of youngins.
Well, okay, so something changed. I guess Willow and Sasha can still both be pregnant at the same time, and then we get the who the baby daddy when it comes to Willow, right? And Michael knows everything about it, so he can be like, oh, it's not my kid, it's Drew's kid. I don't know. I just don't want Michael to have more kids. That's what it is.
You don't want Michael to have more kids?
I don't want Michael to have more kids.
But if you're super not invested or don't care at all about Michael and Sasha, Maybe you'll be happy because it's probably going to be the end of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't see a future with I mean, I guess the future that I do see, and I guess the future that I want, this is what's going to make me interested, is if we really do get a little Alan and Monica out of Michael and Willow, where they start to try to like out-cheat each other, or be out dubious one another in some way. And each time they come to this climactic confrontation about what they've been doing to each other recently, it just reinforces and reiterates the passionate love that they really have for one another. That would make me...
That worked with Alan and Monica.
And it honestly, you know, if they were able to pull that off, then I would be more invested, I think, in what's going on with them. So if that's the future, then I'm here for it.
I don't think that Willow is going to necessarily be all that devious. I hope to goodness that they write Michael to just quartermain his butt off. I want him to do devious things. I do. And the whole baby monitor way of finding out was genius. I loved it.
The only reason to have that take place in the nursery, right, was so Michael could see it on the hidden nanny cam.
Motion detected. In fact, that's a lot of motion. There's a motion in the ocean right there.
That's an ocean's worth of motion right there. Oh goodness gracious. And if a miracle happens and Nina gets pregnant, oh boy, I hope that Nina does not jump Drew's bones anymore, especially after the conversation that she had with Ava this week. And Ava's like, listen, friend, now that we're good friends again, and you can trust my advice that I'm not trying to steer you into the wrong direction, Nina. You need to tell Willow before she finds out from somebody else. Reinforced by the conversation that Tracy had with Cody, being like, the whole family knows.
Exactly.
The only person that doesn't is Willow at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Mm-hmm. So with all of that, though, I hope that Nina doesn't jump any more Drew bones.
I hope not to. But, you know, I think Nina, she always knows this is not a great idea. She always knows it. But she gets such a great case of the hornies.
I really...
help it.
Congratulations, writers of General Hospital, Chris Van Etten and Elizabeth Cordy, or Elizabeth Cordy and Chris Van Etten, however you want to order those names. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that conversation between Nina and Ava, in which Nina blatantly explained her motivations for continuing her relationship with Drew. You can take it as some sort of Nina lie justification, blah, 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 baloney, and the show certainly can take that in that direction too if they want. But for me, this viewer right here today, I'm taking her at face value with it. At first she was like, ooh, we hate each other so much we can't stand it, into I'm trying to distract this man from my daughter a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm with it.
Yes, I'm with it too. However, she's a little short-sighted. She's giving Drew a little too much credit.
Oh, yes. Of course.
Because Drew don't give a darn. He thinks it's pretty cool that he's
Drew
got it going on with both of them.
So, like, he's such a creep. I don't know.
He's swarmy now.
He's such a creep, and I don't know if they. I still don't know if they're writing him to be this way, or if it's just continuing to still come off this way, because having him react second also shows that, you know, he might be waiting for Willow's reaction to what just happened to just fall in line with how she feels. Because if she's like, oh, finally, Drew, finally we can be free to he might be like, oh yes. That's the way.
Her clothes fell off fast in that nursery.
Too fast. She was kind of thinking about it ahead of time, because she glanced upstairs, right? Glances upstairs before moving up there to find out how Drew is doing, and then just leaps across the room, essentially.
Right.
Like, she's such a bad woman. Oh my gosh. Oh no.
I don't find her. What I find her mostly, I guess, just put it out there, stupid.
Yeah, like, this is
naive and stupid.
I want to understand it better. I want to have believed in their passion that they cannot resist each other, and this is the moment in which all walls have just broken down because look how devastated you are in this moment. But I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. Maybe chat can tell me. What is the missing element from this that would totally sell it? Is it the performance of the actors? Is it the actual writing of the storyline? Is it the circumstances? Like, what? I don't know. I don't have that answer. I don't know why it's not working.
Well, because he's so creepy. And what's missing from their relationship to me is love.
You just don't see it.
No, I see lots of lust.
Mm-hmm.
I see lots of I can't help myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see love.
Mm.
The love I do see between them is still uncle.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Still family, not
Right.
lover.
Okay. All right. So it's a chemistry thing that's missing.
Yes.
Big time.
You know who has more chemistry? I saw it this week, and I saw Sasha Jason chemistry.
Right? It kind
I
of
did.
reminded me of Brit Jason a little bit.
I saw chemistry there. No, I don't see any chemistry with Willow and Drew. I have seen it with he and Michael before. I think their relationship does have that base of love that I was referring to.
Willow and Michael?
Willow and Michael.
Yeah.
But Willow and Drew, the lust is high.
Yeah.
Words don't seem to be there, not really.
No, not much left. Not much love. No, I could agree
And
with you on that.
I don't think Drew is feeling that either. I think Drew has got, he got a taste for forbidden fruit is what he does.
He's just
That's
a bad guy.
That's where it lies for him. He got some taste for forbidden fruit.
He's just a bad
That's what I'm getting
guy.
at.
Oh no, Drew.
dirty.
Well, maybe he's gonna win that. Maybe he's gonna win that election and just leave. Just leave his wreckage behind.
Yeah, and I thought that bar incident was going to squash his ability to win the election.
Nah.
The Courtroom took care of that, didn't they?
He just doubled down on being a rich politician, is what he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And Tracy's right. Cody should have held out for that $100,000, just like I said.
I loved Tracy and Cody this week. Oh my gosh!
Me
now
too.
that we sort of like these scenes didn't bring to me those same what is Tracy thinking and feeling about Cody. I didn't get that from them. Like I got like the genuine friendship from them again, with no question of like, well, does Tracy really want more? And Jane Elliott's just a treasure and a gem and wonderful.
Yeah,
And you can see Josh Kelly have a good time filming this. He did a cross from one part of the set to the other, and they actually did like a cut from one camera to the other. And the way the General Hospital works, and especially how that line was delivered and the motion of the actors that was one. I don't want to call it one take because it's not technically one take because there's two cameras, but it was one act, one motion, and they did a
But they got 3 cameras going all the time, though, don't they?
right. But they don't usually they usually have it over the shoulder, and then a double on, so you can get the close up of one, close up the other, and then the wide shot of them both. That's your typical soap setup.
Yep.
But this, they angled it into the set. They crossed from one portion of the stable into the other portion while they were saying their lines. And I know that this is like basic, like acting and blocking, but the fact that General Hospital did it is worth mentioning because
they don't do that much.
Because they don't do it that often, and it takes time to do. And if they mess it up, then we don't have time for you to mess it up. So we're just not going to try.
Too much of a chance of a double have to take another take.
Exactly,
we don't want another take.
Exactly. So kudos to them for doing it and pulling it off and such. But you can see as he's crossing from one part of the stable into the other, him kind of crack a little bit and smile at what Tracy is saying. She's saying that, well, even if you don't want to, you take after the parent that you don't want to take after. My mother was a wonderful woman, and all I got were her eyelashes. And, and he smiles as he's crossing the set doing that, and it worked for the scene because Cody, of course, needs to pick me up, and Tracy is a funny woman. But just round of applause, congratulations! I enjoyed the scene. You should have held out for $100,000.
Yep. And But I did like the whole. She was like, Drew acted like a real Quartermain.
We're genetically predisposed to cheat. Like it's not even that big of a controversy in the house. It's
No,
like the whole family knows about it. Whatever. We paid everybody off. Nobody's gonna know. Like she's not even. It's like she's not even bothered.
right.
Like she's not morally disgusted because these things just come up in the Quartermain so often. She's just like, well, I guess he really is part of the family.
Yeah, her reaction was kind of like Sonny's when he found out that what's a bucket died with meh,
Hey,
meh.
she grabbed some milk on the way back. Need it for my pasta sauce. When is Lulu gonna wake up? I don't know. A couple weeks.
Hopefully very soon.
Next week. Tomorrow.
If I, because I'm starting to get real irritated that that pole with the vitals
It's in the way.
blocking her face.
Like, are we gonna find ourselves in a couple of weeks? Dante has a handful of Sonny's pills. He's like, I don't know if I could do it, Dad. I don't know if I can move on without Sam. And then he gets a call. Dink-a-link-a-dink-a-dink. Dink-a-link-a-dink-a-dink. Because that's what his cell phone sounds like. Dink-a-link-a-dink-a-dink. Because he's got kids, okay?
Yeah.
Or he had a young one. Scout. Boop. It's me, Dante Falconeri. She's awake. Lulu's awake. You have to get to the hospital now. And he throws the pills down and he goes back to the hospital.
Wouldn't that be funny if that's actually what happens? It could.
Yeah, I don't know. I
We're
like that
always
Alexis.
trying to write the show here on the 10th floor.
Come to us for all of the storylines that aren't going to happen. Danny is still alive to this day. I liked Alexis saying that she's not going to throw herself into the bottle because it would dishonor Sam's memory. I like that.
I liked it too. But I could understand though, even if they did write it where she jumped into the bottle, I would completely understand why.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that she's not.
Yeah.
That she's thought about it though.
Yeah.
And this would feel a lot better if I just had a shot or two.
But I'm going to ignore that because of Sam. Samadoodle Sam Marino. She pulled me out of the bottle last time.
I tell you. See, I don't think Alexis should feel bad about anything when it comes to, Sam but who should feel bad? Those damn two sisters of hers.
They do. Like Christina's screaming in the chapel.
I know, but they should feel bad about this.
They don't.
Now. Of course they feel bad about
They don't,
their
though.
sister.
Not really. Like all of those, we're going to get along. That's all lip service.
Especially since the last interaction they had with Sam, where she's like, I'm so through with you two.
This is not going to unite those sisters like we had hoped. I don't think that they're going to walk away arm in arm. This is they gave Alexis lip service. Of course, we're going to have each other's backs, and they will for 2 or 3 weeks until the height of the motion starts to die down. They have their closure and the funeral and this, that, and the other thing. And then they start snipping and sniping and
Adela Irene again.
Hopefully about something new.
I'll fight about Adela Irene again.
TJ Taj Bello, thank you very much for continuing to give in the character and try to feed this story, or at least TJ's perspective, as much as you can, because it's limited as hell, honestly. He was so cold in that doctor's room talking about the autopsy and Sam and the investigation. Like, he didn't even touch Molly's shoulder as he left the room or anything like that. So cold. That is a relationship that has lost its fuel.
Oh, definitely. Molly and TJ are going to split up.
They just it's not because they don't love each other. It's just because they don't love each other. It's just oh boy. Molly needs to deal with her grief, says Chandra. What about Irene? She passed away, and it's kind of Christina's fault.
They just fight about it. No, that's just that's.
Oh goodness!
They fuss about the most, and they, as they should, I guess. If they're going to fuss, that would be the thing to fuss about right now.
It sure would. The girls continue to fight over the death. I don't know. What did you think though? Let's isolate the Christina reaction, because we got a lot of Monday was like the kids' reaction day. All right, we got a lot of perspective with the youngins. We got a lot of perspective with Molly and Christina, and we can call them all the kids. They're the kids of Alexis. They're the kids of, Sam, or at least the stepkid of Sam. But let's isolate some of these scenes, some of these progresses, and we're definitely going to talk about Rocco because he's our cover guy this week. Christina screaming and yelling in the chapel. B-. Well, I really enjoy Kate Mansi. I like what she's brought to Christina. That particular scene, though, I didn't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just
Well,
don't know.
so
She's so
how,
mad, but I didn't buy it.
you know, I think that they're still presenting Christina being pretty spontaneous,
Volatile.
unthinking,
Yeah.
kind of self-serving because she don't think beyond herself very much when she is being that reactive.
Yeah. I mean, it is showing her to be emotional and volatile and prone to outbursts and that sort of stuff. It I don't know. I guess I just like it when there's another person for her to feed off of. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's more of a critique of the energy that was brought from the actor's point of view, without being mean or hateful or saying that they're bad, because they're not. But without somebody to bounce off of. This is just me screaming at the lights. Be
I
nice.
don't know what they're gonna, once they get past all this, and they've kind of moved away from the loss of the baby. When they start moving away from that a little bit, I wonder what they're going to do with Christina, because at this point I couldn't even guess.
She's going to continue to be a volatile force. I think that
I still want her. I still want her to be a mafia princess. I like it.
maybe we'll get there. There's still lots of ground to cover. Stories continue, and just because one ends doesn't mean another one can't begin. So, I don't know. Melissa suggests that Kate Mansi has been doing a lot of crying and emotion lately. Maybe she's just tapped out. Maybe she's just tired of doing it. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But whatever. Like I said, be honest. It's still a passing grade. Still a B. That's good. Danny. Robo Danny. Robo Danny. Having conversations. Being like, it'll be all right. I'm the big brother. It's going to be okay. I'll be there for Scout. And then Jason walks into the room and he throws himself across. Oh, God, Dad. Talking to Carly. Is what he did. Carly being there for Jason. Just as I thought. Carly being Jason's first call.
And I wouldn't be surprised, even though right now, Alexis wants to have Danny with her. And of course, Jason's going to have something to say about it. But it does make sense to me in a way, because of his relationship with Carly. That's who he would co-parent with, would be Carly. Of
course. Yeah, absolutely. Just, I think that, like I'd said, it was a couple of weeks ago now, I think that Danny going with Jason is just rife for interesting story that can feed into his relationship with Carly. It could feed into his connection to Sonny, because, hey, like he had said last week or this week or whatever, he thought that Sam was always going to be there, and so he didn't really have to think about what's going to happen to the kid if something happens to me, because Sam is there. Now he has to think about that. Well, you've got such a big family and everybody's going to be there to support you, and you're not going to have to do this. Yeah, but still, you're not Sam. So, yeah. I think that that's the better story. But, we have to tell story before we get there, and that's going to be Alexis's challenge to obviously Drew and Jason wanting their kids. And so now she has to take them to court.
And she's kind of just making the assumption she can just have them. Kind of.
I don't. No, I don't. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that because she's going to them very nervously, saying, "I think that they should come stay with me, and the sooner that we do that is going to be the best." I don't think that she's necessarily, because she's not packed their bags. She's not going to anybody saying, well, the kids are going to come live with me. I think that statement would be a little more, she's already made that decision, or like this is assumption. Nobody's going to challenge me on this. I feel as though she thinks there's going to be some challenge to it.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think Dante saying, oh, I thought the kids were going to stay with me, probably would have been a surprise to her, though.
And his plan for the short term, because he's not thinking very far ahead, was just going to stay here for a while.
Yeah, I thought everyone's just going to come home here until we figure out everything.
Which, to me, makes the most sense for the short term, at least.
Yeah, yes. I don't.
Because I'm not, because the way I think about things is I don't think about the adults first, ever. I think about children first every time. And that for them to be in the mansion with people are surrounded by people that love them and lots of distraction, that's the best environment for them now. Not back at Lex's house in the middle of the woods where almost no one's there.
But that's not Dante's house, though. That's Quartermain's house. Dante's like, I thought they were
I
going to
know,
come
but his
back to
mom
this
is there.
penthouse with us.
His grandma's there.
Well,
Their grandma's there.
I'm not arguing that at all. Quartermains are
Yeah.
okay for right now. I'm saying Dante's like, I thought they were going to come live with me in this penthouse with me as still their stepdad for the time being, which is a little different than being surrounded by the entire Quartermain family.
Absolutely.
So I don't know who's going to win out on that one. Smart move by Dante. Both kids have dads. Sorry, Alexis, but you really need to stay in your lane, says Melissa. I'm not sure Alexis even has the right to weigh in. She didn't raise Sam, to be honest, says Melissa. I think that she was trying to justify herself with Olivia. When Olivia was like, this is a bad idea, Alexis. Where she listed, hey, you know, I mean, Jason's lifestyle is too dangerous, and and Drew's going to be in DC. Who else but their grandma?
Yeah, I can understand why she's thinking that.
So, you know, it's like
But
Laura,
maybe-
it's like Laura having an ace. Like, well, what's it going to do? Live in jail? Can anyone remember seeing the kids hanging at Alexis's house? Nope. I don't think that matters. They had parents back then.
That's true. That's true. I tell you, one of the most heartbreaking things I saw was Dante going back to the penthouse.
Yeah.
And sniffing her jacket.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know, and that's so. I think that's very often what people do.
He's so sad.
You know,
Yeah.
they do that kind of
He needs
stuff.
a Lulu to wake up.
He sure does
He
need
needs a
Lulu to wake up.
so he can be like, my family's back. I'm happy again. All the kids have multiple grandmas. You're right, Kelly. They have more grandmas than they can count on two hands.
They got a whole passel of grandmas, huh? They got people that will step in as grandma too if they. Even old crazy Aunt Tracy would be there, you know, and like, you know, nurture them if she. I'm like, well, there's no one else around.
This is what we do. This is what we do. Okay, intense family court. All right, Alexis is suing for custody of her grandkids, and Monica walks in. She slams her cane down and she says, "You know what? These kids are coming with me." And then her ex-boyfriend judge is like, gavel
With the gavel. Make it so.
Case decided.
My goodness. Who was kind of missing this week?
Cyrus. Oh, Lucky? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Lucky. I imagine. So I saw some snippets, some screenshots of Christmas time, and Lucky's, I don't know, sipping hot cocoa with Liz or something. But you know, he's still around. He's not going anywhere. He just, I don't know. Maybe he just didn't have a big.
That means that if you saw snippets of Christmas, they are, well, you don't know when that scene could very well be like 2 weeks before Christmas. It's going to say how far ahead they are. I was thinking of how far ahead they are, but you know, you could have a Christmas scene 2 or 3 weeks before actual Christmas.
Yeah. You know, when it's all decorated.
December.
Because it's out in the park. You know, Rice Plaza. That's what it is. Rice Plaza.
Exactly. Rice Plaza.
So all that. So, you know, he's around. He's around at least for the next 2 months. I think Lucky wasn't on this week because nothing had anything to do with Lucky. Lulu's recovering and she's not dead. I don't know what sort of relationship he had with Sam last time Lucky was a part of the canvas, but he hasn't had anything to do with her in a long time.
No, but they had a courtship.
Well, of course they did. Of course they did. So, you know, he's just not necessary. When it comes down to it, we had people who had been far closer to Sam, far more recently, that needed the time rather than Lucky. I think it just boils down to that.
Yeah, well, I agree with you, but I guess I say that because I just want Jonathan Jackson on my screen.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be back on next week.
I like him.
He's got to console Liz because, you know, Liz got to come home eventually and be like, oh, I'm so sad, and Lucky's like, oh, I mean, I was here with Aiden and Aiden, just Aiden, because
Jake's over there.
Jake's over there.
Yep,
But I was
Cameron's
here
over
with
there.
Aiden. I was here with Aiden while you were dealing with this and being at work for 48 hours straight and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's when they can sit on the couch and have a chat.
Mm-hmm.
They're continuing to make it so Isaiah can stick around for a long time.
They are.
They are doing so great with Isaiah when it comes to anchoring him just a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more as time goes on.
And they're making him mysterious.
A little bit mysterious, yes. Like what sort of life did he have? What other things has he been up to? Somebody can come into town and be like, Isaiah,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a whole Gannon connection too. So anyway, I enjoyed him when he was on as well. Portia becoming even more villainous as time goes on, trying to do what she can to kind of pin this on Lucas, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as the chief of staff, the hospital needs a reason that isn't just like somebody snuck in here and killed a patient. So we gotta pin this on the doctor. I don't even know if she's thinking it that way.
I heard a little rumbling about this. I don't know if it's going to be true or not. But what do you think about? I've heard that Brad perhaps turned off the ventilator, and
What?
Brad to make Lucas just depend on him a little bit. I don't know.
I don't like it. I want Brad to have gotten over his demons. And
Well,
he's
I
just
don't.
genuinely
Well, I don't
trying.
want. I don't. I really don't. I don't really want devious, rotten Brad.
That's
If they're going to bring Brad back on, where he's on the show quite a bit, I
not
don't
devious, rotten Brad. Just Brad will give it to you if you're doing it. Karma Brad. Do you think the new young adult is linked to Isaiah? Potentially. Absolutely, potentially. Melissa says that he's a Gannon. There's no telling. He could be a hero or a criminal or an anti-hero. The Gannons had them all.
Yeah, they did.
So, hey. Cyrus did it, Melissa says emphatically. Sam is out of the way, so Lulu... Sam is out of the way, so Lulu can take back her life now. Cyrus is giving Lulu back everything he took. Except Dustin. He can't give her Dustin back.
Oh, she didn't care about Dustin anyway.
Lulu's going to wake up and go, oh, Dustin, where's Dustin? Is he okay? He's dead. Oh my God. Where's Dev? Dev was with us. You didn't make it either. Oh gosh. But is Danny all right? Yes, Danny's fine. Those damn podcasters. All right, I want to go home. You don't have a home. What do you mean? Maxie lives there. Oh, all right, I'm just going to stay with Bobby. You can't do that either.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bobby's not here either.
All right. Well, how about my dad? Has my dad been by to visit?
No, Cupcake. He ain't been here either.
My whole world is upside down. I can't be with Dante. I have to figure out what life is. Drama.
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 We need it.
She dusted Dustin. Her heart moved on, but she didn't have a chance to break up with him before the bomb went off.
You're very witty, Melissa, as usual.
Sidwell makes more sense for Sam's death. How? How is Sam connected? I mean, I understand that he somehow found out that Sasha was Holly's daughter. Who cares? Who cares how he found out? I don't give a shit. But he would have to find out that Sam was Jason's kid's parent, and out of revenge, he killed her. Like it's a little bit of a stretch from you, Laura. But let me know. Let me know. What's your mindset? Curious.
Yeah. How is Jason going to get out of his situation with the Sidwell? Well, they had the explosion already, so.
Well,
but where is Sidwell?
He's going to show up again because something diamonds, something diamonds. Mm-hmm. They're not right. They're wrong. Holly switched them. She actually has the real one somewhere. Something. And
so that sounds like Holly's wheelhouse.
Yeah, like she never gave the real diamonds to Sonny. She never would have. So she gave him fake diamonds or something. I don't know, lab grown ones. Regardless, something. He's still in town. Something. And Jason's got a chrome gun.
That's true.
So that's how you get rid of Sidwell.
It would be funny. It was like, it's that cubic zirconia.
Sam is connected to Jason. Lulu's connected to Lucky. Lulu's also connected to Dante and Rocco and Laura and Kevin. She's also connected to Maxie, Spinelli, Carly. Carly cares. She showed that she cared. Even if you forgot she cared. She reminded us a couple of weeks ago she does.
You remember how much Carly and Sam used to fight?
And she cares about Sam too. She's so hurt. She's so hurt. She's so sad. Because she even said, we've made a lot of progress over the last couple of years. When she decided to settle down and be a mom and stop fighting me all the dang time. Carly too, trying to hang out in Brennan's office as he runs the op, as if she has any right to be there.
Right.
Just like, you gotta go. You can't get in more deep. I was expecting him to say something like, well, you're not in the WSB, so leave.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, there's disbelief in the chat that any Cassadine can actually die, so they don't believe that Sam is gone, and Chandra's even waiting for Helena to crop up again.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
You never know. But I've wanted Helena to crop up, ever since they killed her off. I wanted her to return.
What's on the rest of the DVD, Laura? What were you trying to hide?
But at the same time, though, I don't want another. I don't want a recast of Helena.
Yeah.
I don't want a recast of Helena. I want it to be
Constance Towers is Helena.
But she's damn near 100 years old.
Well, no, we're done with Helena. Helena's definitely dead on the show.
Yeah.
Ace took Sam's body. I got it, Melissa. Got it. Ace and Wheezy Face on working together. Slowed Sam's heart to a near stop.
I'm worried for Wheezy Face on. They don't even let that girl go trick or treating.
She didn't. I know, right? We got Georgie running around a Xenon, girl of the 24th century or whatever, which was super fun.
Yes.
Which was so fun. But
yes.
no Wheezy. Like no Wheezy dressed up as the Tooth Fairy or Stitch or any other Disney property. Like nothing.
Exactly.
No Wheezy. Where's Wheezy? And we got Georgie's like, I'm too old for this. Well, how about the kid that isn't too old for this?
Right. And Wheezy should be about 3 by now, shouldn't she?
Shoot, it's a soap opera. She could be 7. I don't care.
Well, she can't be older than James.
Well, how old is James?
About 7.
Okay, well then she could be 4. Fine. 3 or 4. I'm totally with it. Totally with it.
Exactly.
Just, a little blonde hair that's just down to past her shoulders.
I mean, I understand. They don't use children necessarily unless they have to. But as a family unit for a celebratory situation with mom and dad and 2 out of 3 children don't make sense.
Medora says that Charlotte is going to be the new Helena. I'm with it. All right, so Charlotte's destined to come back to now. Okay, they're looking hard for Valentine, which means Valentine and Charlotte are on their way back. Charlotte will come back just in time for Lulu to blink her little eyes open and gaze upon her daughter once more. And if you were in a coma and you woke up realizing, oh gosh, I'm awake, I'm in a hospital, I feel like I've been asleep for a long time, sort of understanding that you're coming to. Do you think the first face you would look for would be like my dad's?
Yeah.
I think so too. Like I was thinking like whose face would like if I woke up in the hospital, look around, whose face would I expect to see first? And I would be like my mom's. Oh gosh. And then right next to her is Desmond.
Yep. I would say I would look for your dad's face first. I definitely would.
Yeah. And
probably what I would say to him first was, where are my kids?
Yeah. They're just outside. Welcome back. It's been 9 years.
Wow.
How
long has Lulu been gone? Lulu's been gone like 3?
3 or 4? Pretty much maybe closer to 5 because we podcasted it because we were certain that Danny was dead. So it was within podcasting time. So within the last 4 seasons of the show, 5 years of time, blah blah.
And
blah.
it was before we were on YouTube.
Just prior. So yeah. It's been a little. It's been 4 years. We'll say 4 for the sake of the podcast. We'll say 4. Chandra's down with Charlotte Helena 2.0. I think she's had a lot of time to learn from Daddy, and she might even come back like 16, or she's 16 now, isn't she? She might even come back like 20. Who knows?
Maybe. Well, if Jake ever comes back to town, he'll be a man.
Maybe they did it on purpose. They're like, hey, Lulu's coming back. We liked Jake and Charlotte together.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to age them both up.
Maybe.
I don't know, because okay, so for the longest time I didn't see it. I didn't see it because I don't have photographic memory, right? Like, I remember General Hospital from before. I sort of vaguely, hazily, like, we put Vaseline on the lens, like in the 60s, memories of what these people used to look like, right? When they were younger, like when Jason was younger, when everybody was younger. And so for the longest time, I did not see how much Jake looks like Jason. Until I saw a couple of pictures a couple weeks ago of Jason at like 18 years old, and I'm like, holy smokes, they do look a lot alike. Good job, Mark Teschner. How'd you know? How'd you know? This kid had a little button nose for the longest time.
Features, actually.
This kid had like, he had like a little butt chin and a little button nose for the longest time. How did you know, Mark Teschner, that this man was going to grow up to? Is it because his dad looks like Steve Burton? I want to know. If he comes back, Hudson West, I think it would be necessary for him to look more mature. So hopefully his face can fill out a little bit naturally. Maybe he can, pick up a couple of weights. Not saying that he hasn't or shouldn't or he's scrawny. This isn't an insult. I'm just saying, if he comes back a little beefier, a little Jason-y when it comes to an appearance, because, well, naturally, I'm just kind of like Jason. I think it might really help.
Maybe.
Really anchor him kind of in the early 20s crowd. Now that Jocelyn and everybody's going to be the mid 20s before you know it. Before you know it, mother.
Before you know it. Before you know it. With Lucky coming back and Jason being back and all the stories, it's very centric to those two, but it'll be interesting when those arcs start playing out. What are they going to write for all these? A lot of characters, I feel like their storylines have been very subdued since these two returned.
Okay.
What are they going to write for folks? Give them an arc when they have not really paid any attention to them for a while. And they've been just kind of chilling in town.
I guess you just start paying attention to them again and hoping that it works out.
I hope so.
Like
for instance, Jocelyn and Dex. Their stories are a little flat.
I feel like that Sam's death is taking up a lot of room, as it should.
Yep.
And getting to it also took up some room because they did a lot of establishment of her relationships with people across town to sell what it is that we're seeing now. As that dies down and we get into what happened, there will be less time taken because it's going to be a little bit more about, Lucky and Isaiah and Lucas and kind of that corner of people chasing down Cyrus, I guess, if he's responsible. Which leaves more time for Trina and Joss to get into trouble, for Dex to sleep with Molly because she can't relate to TJ about this travesty too. And maybe he has a particularly bad day at work, comes across a crime he can't prevent. Gets in a fight with Jocelyn, something that pushes him in that direction. I think there's a couple of things that they have out there. Also too, with Sasha and potentially a Robert and Holly reunion and then departure. Because she really had the diamonds the whole time, and Robert's just like, what, screw it. If we're going to go ahead and just live on an island, she's not going to leave, then I think this might be the way that I want to do it, I don't know. She can scamper off, and what we've done is we've really firmly established Sasha in her new era of caperdom, in which the adventurous nature of Robert and Holly stories can continue through Sasha.
You know what I loved on Friday? I loved on Friday with Holly and Robert there with Sasha. And Sasha initiated an embrace with her dad when she said, and he had said in an earlier episode that he wanted a relationship with her, and I want to get to know you.
I think that was the last thing that was on Friday, actually, was their hug.
Yeah, it was lovely because there was some hesitation and she initiated it. And she hugged him like, I just felt like it was like, just let me melt into my daddy.
Just a little bit. Oh, you rescued me. Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he needs that old NAC glow up, says Melissa about about Hudson West. Let's see, 2020, according to the chat, Chandra and Michelle, is when Lulu went into her coma. 2020. Cyrus has
makes
been around
sense.
for a long time.
And that was the year that we started the podcast.
Well, then there you go. It was one of the first stories we covered. I think the Shiloh thing blended into a Drew thing, which blended into a Cyrus thing.
Oh, I think so too.
Julian, Wiley.
Because I know that we were talking about Shiloh
Mhm.
more than anything when we first started doing the podcast.
Shy-lie-lie-lie-lie-lie-lo.
Yep.
Shy-lie-lie-lie-lie-lie-lo.
I know a lot of people really hated the Shiloh storyline. I loved it.
It was good. It was. Did you know that it was ripped from the headlines based in real life story?
Yes.
Yeah, that whole like in excess whatever. Like no,
Yes.
that was the band. But you know, that one with the weird letters. That Allison Mack.
INXS, yes.
From Allison Mack from Supernatural or Superman from Smallville. She got in some trouble doing that. Got sucked in real deep. But their whole MO is the same thing. We're gonna bring you into our higher echelon, in which you gotta and in order to keep you quiet, we're gonna keep a secret. Ripped from the headlines.
It was.
I miss Shiloh, says Melissa. His actor was hilarious online. You know, we were just getting into Twitter back then. I don't know how much of a cesspool it was back then. I don't know if it's gotten worse over the last 4 years or if it was just the same and we just didn't see it. So I don't know were they mean.
There was
And he was
3
mean right
scenes of Shiloh that I really enjoyed because I like some violence on the TV for soap operas. But
Jason with the brick wall, right?
Jason with the brick wall, absolutely, outside of Bobby's, conking him. And he kind of got googly eyes. You know, he kind of looked like, he did googly eyes, like, you know how...
Yeah, Esme used to do them.
No, I thought about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, goodness.
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
I'm thinking dumb things. I love that scene where Jason gets him by the throat and conks his head.
Yeah.
And there's blood on the brick wall behind him.
Yeah.
I love that scene. This is a non-violent scene. I love the teardown. I mentioned it before with Molly and Shiloh and Bobby's, and she just rips him down with words. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And my last favorite scene of Shiloh, which is back to violence. Do you remember when Jason threw him down the circular staircase?
Yes.
Oh, man, that was good.
In the lighthouse with the secrets, where they had the secrets upstairs.
Yes.
Yes. Eventually he died because Sam shot him in the back with a flare.
And now that I thought of the circular staircase, now I understand why the stable has a circular staircase.
Somebody can get thrown down it eventually.
And because it was already in the warehouse.
Because they had it. It's like, all right, we need to build a stable. All right, so we can paint over that wall and that wall. Let's see. So we just had a bunch of like horseshoes donated to us. We're just going to hang those.
And the circular staircase fits because the Quartermains would have a bougie stable.
They have the bougiest stable, don't they? Don't they? Maybe that's the reason why Cody is going to stick around. It's because they built a whole stable set and they're going to have somebody on it.
Cody sticks around.
Well, honestly, with his new alliance with Tracy, that gives him a little more footing on the show than I hadn't given him credit before. Because now she's like, well, you keep an eye on Drew and let me know when he steps on a line. We're going to get you that 100K, buddy.
Yeah, she was not at all. She did not judge him at all for that. She was like, you act like a Quartermain and you hold out for $100.
Chandra didn't see Shiloh's death scene. I believe it was on the Haunted Star. He was fighting with Jason. And Sam wound up grabbing a flare gun and shooting him with it.
It kind of looked like a flare gun, but it also looked like a harpoon.
Oh, maybe it was a harpoon
It
flare.
was a pointed thing, remember?
Well, maybe she did shoot him with a harpoon. Maybe I got my memories mixed up.
Right on the deck of the Haunted Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam was the victor. She got her abuser.
Yes. Oh, well, okay. Oh, okay. So we got to talk about Rocco. And the scenes that he had with Laura in the chapel. because of the kids' perspectives, I liked his the most. I was most entertained, I was most interested, most engaged by his. I understand what they were doing with Scout. Scout was the innocent, well, when mommy
Scout's
comes
little.
home type of deal, like, I don't quite understand why this has to be this way. She said she'd be fine. Like the innocence of not understanding, but she's not ripped to shreds because she doesn't really get it. Then we already talked about Danny, Robo Danny, before Daddy came home, and he was like, I'm not Robo Danny anymore. And apparently he's been inconsolable since. That's something that somebody said, Alexis or something. He's been inconsolable. Rocco, in his emotional journey of feeling like he did this, the incredible guilt that he has, which also goes to show the depth of heart and love that he has for his step siblings, which I'm just going to call them step siblings. What do you think? How do you feel watching all that, Mother? You don't care.
I liked it, but it didn't hit with me the same way it hit with
you. No, you weren't taken by like the almost survivor's guilt type of thing. The wishing, well, if one of these two makes it through, I want it to be my mom. Oh my God, it turned out that way. Like I don't know. I was there for it. I felt like he was just so crushed, and I gotta give it to the actor too. For being a ripe old age of 15 or whatever he is. He's clearly not 21 playing 15.
I think he's a minor still.
I think he did a really great job with the content. I'm curious to know what his coaching was like. How early did he get these lines? Did he get to work on it with mom and dad? Where did he get his perspective from? Because there was a lot of just genuineness from it, I feel.
I want to feel this way. I don't know if it may be true, but I want to feel this way. I want Jeannie Francis to say, hey, baby, you want to run some lines?
And wouldn't that be
want
wonderful?
to do this together, let's run some lines.
Because it is. It was a big scene with Jeannie Francis too.
It was a big scene.
That's and with a legend, big scene.
Because you guys, they don't give the actors time to run lines. They don't give them time. If they want to run lines together, they got to just talk to one another and use their own private time and run lines.
I want them to reward this actor with more stuff. I think that it turned Rocco into an interesting character with something now that I have a minor investment with in a portion of his life that he's gone through, and I'd be curious to know where they could take it from here if they wanted to give it any time. So I just think it when it comes to the kids, he really was my favorite. I know a lot of people really like the Scout stuff.
Yeah, I think when Lulu does wake up, she's going to be taken aback because it's not going to seem like all this time's went by to her.
No.
I think she's going to be taken aback when she sees her children, and they don't look. She will recognize them, of course.
Yeah.
But they are not going to look a thing like they did last time she saw them.
You look just like your dad now.
Because when she saw them last, they were children. They didn't look like teenagers.
Right.
Puberty hadn't slapped the crap out of him yet.
No, it has now.
Yeah.
Before they aged Rocco, the character was 7 before Lulu went into the coma, so almost half his life. I mean, we'll say since he was sorest, then yes, a little bit more than half his life. Because for us, 4 years has passed, but for Rocco, it's been more like 6.
I mean, you just think about the math of it all, when you're that age, 4 years is a hell of a lot more percentage of your life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Long enough for
4 years of my life ain't very long, really.
Long enough for Rocco's life with Dante and Sam to be his expected normal for here on out.
Absolutely. Even though he had not forgot about his mother, still loved his mother, still wanted his mother to wake up.
But also, sorry, go ahead.
But he was clearly, his family he had was what he was his reality, and he loved his new reality, and the relationship, and they really drove this home. But at the same time, we saw it. They didn't have to drive it home in words. She was a wonderful stepmother to him.
Oh, absolutely.
She really did treat him like her own children.
A big part of his hurt is that he, much like everybody else, never expected this to happen, and maybe somewhere deep inside thought he would have had time to tell Sam what she had meant to him, or even not quite realizing what she had meant to him after she wasn't there anymore. But that I also really appreciate that perspective. I don't know, man. I just found so much depth in what Rocco was experiencing, and I just think that it came off really well on screen. So that's all. That's what makes it my number one for me.
Sam was she was the center of the family.
They've
She
said
ran
that
the
time
show.
again.
She
They-
ran the show.
Oh, they showed that too majorly because she kept on being like, remember to do this, that, and the other thing. You're going to get cupcakes for that, whatever. And don't let this person do that thing. And remember, don't let Jason and Danny ride on the motorcycle together. All sorts of different things to show that, yeah, she was the one doing it all, handling it all. It's not the Sam character that people wished that she had been, but it's the Sam character that she was. And it was important to people. Yeah. Rocco lost the woman who had been his real mom for the past few years for a memory of a woman in the bed. That's gotta tear him up.
Sure.
And also wishing, God, why aren't you blonde and giving me a hug and being my mom? The jealousy.
Yep.
Oh, goodness gracious. And Jeannie Francis, of course. You can't do anything wrong when you're Jeannie Francis. No matter what the material is, it's gonna be just incredible. So
Yeah, scribble some words. I'm going to scribble something down. It's okay because I will portray.
I will act it.
I will act it out.
You don't even need to give me the lines. Just tell me the feeling. What am I supposed to portray?
Wouldn't that be interesting? It would be actually kind of interesting to say, okay, and I think you could get by with this with quite a few of the actors on the show. Okay, no script. This is the scene. Go. Improv. Do it.
I bet they could. There's they could absolutely do it. There's too many writers to let them. But there was a sitcom that actually did a lot of it was improv. Was Life with Bonnie Hunt's 90s sitcom. A lot of that was improv, where they just like, well, here's the concept of the scene, go nuts, and then they would go nuts, and then they would put together the show. And then they changed it so they didn't do that anymore, and everything was scripted, and then nobody watched the show anymore. It was canceled. Because it wasn't as good.
Huh?
It wasn't. Life with Bonnie became very different. And people didn't like it anymore. It wasn't as funny because these comedians weren't just riffing and building and seeing what they can do. I'm sure there's a lot of interesting stuff that could be done. But when it comes to a soap opera, it's so risky, right? Because what if Maurice Bernard is like, yeah, but I'm your dad. And I never told you. Right? What if he does that? You're stuck.
Matt, what did you think about this on Friday?
What's that?
I thought the Brooklyn and Dante scenes were quite good. And I think that was building Gio being their kid.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I actually tweeted about that. I said, after those scenes, I said, well, Dante's Gio's dad. Clearly they hooked up when they were youngins in the neighborhood together.
Yep. And they've known each other pretty much their entire lives.
And they made sure in that scene to remind us how long Brooklyn and Dante have known each other.
Yes, and they showed us, even though they haven't, of course they've had scenes together, but they have not had bonding scenes like they did that.
Right.
The bonding scene, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I walked away this week believing that Dante is Gio's dad. 100%.
Me too. Me too.
100%. 100,000%. 100,050%. 150,000 1,000,000.6.
Now, I wonder how are they going to play it? Are they going to play it like it was so traumatic for Brooklyn that she doesn't really recall, the pregnancy or whatever? How are they going to write that?
I don't really know.
Or because if anybody should be angry about it, because there's going to be some anger because some secrets have been kept. Okay. Lois has known all along, and so has Sonny. That's what I think.
It's the camp. It's the camp secret. Cody knows too.
I think so too. And who's going to be the most pissed about all this?
I just don't know how it's all going to come down.
Dante should be the most pissed about
yes,
this.
of course, but I just don't know how it's all going to come out.
No.
I just don't know.
No.
I don't know how they're going to justify
And Gio
Brooklyn.
should be damn mad too.
They laid the groundwork with Alexis discussing how she was forced to give Sam up. So it's just some secret that Brooklyn is just kept as well?
Maybe.
And she doesn't know. That's what it is. She thinks she's given up a kid, but she doesn't know that it was Gio. The kid didn't go very far.
Or maybe she was actually lied to and she gave birth and was told the baby didn't make it.
I don't know. There's so many things.
Yeah.
And Alexis was discussing this with Sonny, shouts Chandra. We might be onto something then, Chandra.
Mm-hmm.
Sandra agrees that it's the secret, but then the Dante would have to know too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how it would all come out. I think that they are the parents. I just don't know what the story is yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, so what did was there a fire at the Ashford house? Because Curtis lost his shirts on Friday. Like, he didn't have a single one to wear. Did you notice?
No.
He didn't have a shirt on the entire episode.
No, I didn't notice.
I don't know if it was Friday or Thursday or whatever, but it was the late night episode, you know, where Portia was in bed lamenting about what was going on. Curtis had already visited Alexis to make sure she wasn't going to drink, and they were just kind of talking about, you know, they were being married.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the entire episode, Ma, he did not wear a stitch of cloth on his upper body.
I didn't notice.
Well,
I
look at
didn't
you
notice.
not paying
You know,
attention.
the reason why they had Curtis go visit her and, try to have
Finn
a little
ain't
meeting
there.
with her. Because Finn ain't there, exactly. Because Finn ain't there.
Like, they should have ended the scene with Alexis's cell phone ringing. Oh, it's Finn.
Yeah, that would have been cool, actually, because they did bring up Finn.
He did, yeah. And Curtis was
When
even like,
Chase
without
came
Finn
back
here.
home,
Mm-hmm.
When the Chase came back home, they brought up Finn and Violet in Seattle.
Settling in and being happy is what they are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So nice to see Sonny and Alexis still be friends. Well, recently, Sonny was about to throw himself on the fire for Alexis to get her out of the trouble that she put herself in.
Mm-hmm.
So they got a little bit of a recent momentum when it comes to... and they even did... they had this really nice moment. I don't know if we talked about it much on the podcast, but they had this nice moment where he's visiting her in jail, and she's like, I mean, you're doing this just because... Yeah, you're doing this because I'm your daughter's mother. Yeah. But admit it, you're doing it a little bit for me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, even though they never had a real love story, Alexis and Sonny did not have a real love story. She was crazy about him and he wasn't crazy about her for a long time. Mm-hmm. And then they fell in bed together and they had Sam.
Mm-hmm.
No, they didn't
Christina.
have Sam. They had Christina. But I just saw a genuine friendship, like a real caring between the two of them in those scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Unlikely duo, but we are friends.
Yeah. Melissa says that Brooklyn would definitely remember having Gio because once upon a time she really ripped into Lulu for abandoning a pregnancy that she had. And now, if that's the case, now clearly Gio didn't exist in the writers' hearts and minds back then, but if they're able to justify something, if they're able to bring something new in and have it fit in with established history, that, of course, is ideal, because then you can point to that and say it's evidence.
And it does coincide well. It does coincide well with Lulu's abortion.
Yeah.
Time.
Well, there you go. There you go, folks. There you go, folks. Right here. Right here. You heard it here first on the 10th floor. This is fact. This is what's happening. Spoiler alert, everybody. We're right.
But I am very, very ready for Lulu to bat her little eyes open in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. She'll bat her eyes open. Elizabeth and Lucky will get closer. Sidwell will be back into town because he's too good to get rid of so far. Plus, Brendan needs an arch nemesis. I understand that Anna and Jason are still involved, but they can still stay involved. As a matter of fact, it makes a lot of sense that Anna and Jason are involved because Anna wishes she was still doing this stuff. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want to be chief of police. And then Jason continuing to work for Brennan, work for WSB, creates a little bit of tension and trouble there on the Sunny front.
And this is what I loved about Sasha, too. In the past, Sasha hasn't been all that feisty and assertive, not all the time. But boy, she was this week when she was Robert's daughter for sure.
And Holly's. I was thinking about it actually because we've seen some feistiness from her before. We've seen her be hyper capable. And when she wasn't completely drugged out of her mind, she tried some of those tactics with Dr. Montague. but then she was drugged out of her mind and couldn't think clearly. In the times in which those skills would have been the most beneficial for her, she was either on drugs or drugged. So there's like I just said about doing something now that established history can support. I think it's all there for Sasha. I don't find this to be a sudden left turn. I find it to be a surprise, but I don't find it to be mismatched. I think that it fits really well with who Sasha Corbin is. I would say like the only thing in her established history that I can point to that's a little, I don't know, is Gladys taking all that money from her.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, she really wanted to trust the mother of her husband. And given the relationship she had with Holly, I can see her being susceptible to that.
And she was, she was. She was so susceptible to that at the time.
So it works. It works. The baby was Dylan's from when Lulu manipulated Dylan into bed by lying and saying Georgie was cheating with Diego. Oh my God, what a complicated story.
I remember. Wow. I was watching at the time. I do remember. And Luke helped Lulu through her decision a lot.
Yeah. Chandra says, well, that's what they did with Sam and Alexis. Brooklyn basically having this baby, but then shutting up about it for her forever.
And they basically did that with Laura and Nicholas, too.
Yeah, so it's not uncommon.
No, it's not uncommon.
It's not uncommon. So maybe it's really simply that simple.
Yeah, it could be just that simple.
And somebody in chat earlier, I don't know if it was Melissa or Eilish or somebody else, maybe it was Medora, I can't recall it, I'm not going to go find it. But somebody suggested that the reason why Brooklyn's having such trouble now is because of her pregnancy with Gio in some way.
Could be.
And that maybe that's something that Lois could be like, well, remember when you had the baby? I don't know.
But I think that's going to be that, if Brooklyn does indeed remember having Gio, then that's just something she just doesn't speak of anymore. She was a teenager at the time, and so much life has went by since then.
And it's something I let go of in my mind and my heart.
Right.
I couldn't carry it with me throughout life, otherwise I'd be too distracted.
Right. Right, all that. But I think she will feel so betrayed to find out that Gio's been there the entire time. Her child's been there the entire time.
I couldn't let go of my grandson. You don't understand. I had to keep him nearby. I had to keep an eye on him. I couldn't just let him go off with strangers.
I understand that's how Lulu, wouldn't be surprised if
it fits with Lois so well, too.
It does.
And what great scenes for Rena Sofer to be able to play.
Yes!
I want this to be the case.
I want that. Now, but Gio should also feel very, very betrayed because he's been mourning this mother that's gone. And if he'd have known the truth all along, maybe it wouldn't have hurt so bad. Because he wouldn't have believed that other woman was his mother.
Yeah. My mom was actually still here.
Right.
BLQ is with Nicholas during the time she was supposed to be pregnant with Gio. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. The show doesn't care. And even then, with Sora's in play, she could have been pregnant with Gio the most recent time she was off the show.
Could have.
They won't. It would have been 20 years ago, 21 years ago. So 2002.
Last time Brooklyn was on the show years ago. She was a little rocker teenager with an attitude.
Well, there you go. Just hooking up with Dante in 2002. I just want Gio to go. Well, once they establish Gio as Brooklyn's kid and maybe not have him dress up like such a preppy, I don't understand why he's folded into the Quartermains in such way. I don't understand why he's not a little bit more of his own statement, like Lois is, like Brooklyn is. Like they're a little less like, I'm in my polo shirt and my perfectly moosed hair and it looks like I'm going to go croquet later on. And I only play classical music at the art district. Like the Gio that I saw in that clip, which is Giovanni Mazza, not Gio the character.
Right.
Is the Gio that I want to see on General
Me
Hospital.
too.
I want to see the chain dangle from his pocket. I want him to do a little violin dance. I want him to be hired at Ava's thing, and instead of playing Beethoven's 8th Concerto on violin, I want him to rock the house down with some sort of Disney licensed musical property.
I want them to do the same thing, and he should have one of those machines that you know what I'm talking about.
Just a one-man band. Okay, he's got a drum on his back.
Yes, where he
up here.
does all of his accompaniment and Sounds like
Oh gosh.
an
Uh,
artist that does that.
Melissa says, it actually sounds like Lois made a great decision because that boy's mom was great to him until she died, and may have hurt worse because she was such a good mother to him despite being his actual mother. So Lois has just been heartbroken silently this whole time.
Could be. Could be.
He doesn't have
could
chemistry
be,
with
but
Joss or Trina.
After his adoptive mother passed away, that was the time to tell him.
Daisy says he doesn't have any chemistry with Joss or Trina, which is fine. There's other characters that they could introduce or bring in or figure out what to do when it comes to that. It's not just the Joss and Trina show. On top of that, too, I want to talk to you about a pairing. And this is going to make a lot of people unhappy. Here's a pairing that did not immediately jump off the screen. And didn't for a long time for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Trina and Spencer. It took a while for Nicholas Alexander Chavez to find his footing. And they didn't really start leaping for me until they changed the Trina actress. Then it really became a solid relationship, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree because it just seemed more grown up after they switched out Trina.
Entirely. Now Chavez also started to focus a lot of time in the gym. At the same time, giving also a physical looking maturity to Spencer.
Yes.
And then Sydney Michaela and Tabyana Ali, there's a maturity, physical, visual maturity difference in their presentation as well. I don't know what Sydney Michaela's up to. She's probably grown up a lot in the last couple of years.
Imagine she's just doing her college thing, what she left for.
I think she was doing some animated stuff or something. Like she's been busy. She's been doing things. She's not gone. Yeah. She's not waiting tables or anything. Jess was a twin? Joss was a twin? What? Oh, Chandra agrees. Hey, look at that. I'm not alone. As long as Chandra agrees, I know that I'm right. But yeah, it took them a little while to jump off. So it's possible that chemistry has to kind of grow. Also, Giovanni's a musician, not an actor. Take a little time to get your footing as well. And I do think that if they found a character for him to play that's a little easier for him to access, maybe something a little more true to who he really is, it might work out really well.
And perhaps in this time too, perhaps Gio is in some workshops and acting classes.
Yeah.
Getting some chops.
And General Hospital is and ABC Networks. This is an ABC Network directive. Keep the cast big and round because we want Port Charles to seem busy and full of people and like a town, not like say a city in Illinois in which things seem to happen only to an isolated few. And I think that this week, with the sheer number of characters that wound up, from Alexis to Sam, from Alexis to Rick, I'll say, they did a great job making it seem like Port Charles is absolutely full. I think the last thing I'll say is, like, Rick's great. I love the conflict that he has. I love the conflict that he plays.
And Rick is a villain, but he's not a creepster.
Yeah, like he's the best kind of soap villain, right? It's the one that can stay being a villain, but the audience isn't like, kill him.
And also they write Rick, and they always have, but they write Rick smart. I love it.
Totally.
A lot of times villains are kind of stupid.
Yeah, but he's not stupid. Like he's already figured out that she got pictures from the mob when it comes to this, and it's like, come on, you got these pictures from Christina's dad. Like, come on, dude. Come on. This won't hold no water in court. He already and as a lawyer, he does the thing in which you're supposed to do. You never ask a question that you don't already know the answer to. Where'd you get those pictures?
Yeah, you're looking for affirmation, not.
Where'd you get those pictures? No, it's just so interesting how they just happen to wind up, and they just really incriminated my client. Now, who took those pictures? Oh, I'm gonna give you Brick's real name because he can't find him.
And Anna was she played it like, yeah, my goose is cooked.
Maybe Gio and Aiden. Aiden would have to graduate from high school first because they've firmly established Gio was in college, firmly established Aiden in high school, and so unless they're trying to tell a very specific story, I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't think they're going to be telling that I'm dating somebody in high school story from the gay perspective. It's too much of a button. We're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like Spencer. He was an arrogant jerk. Boom. Boom. Says Michelle, not me. They can age Charlotte. It can be Joss, Jake, Charlotte. Joss and Jake and Charlotte. They're I understand that Soares exists up to a point. And at a certain point, these are now the ages and gaps of the characters. And we're not going to elevate Charlotte and Jake up to Joss's level. It's just, they had been little kids for too long, while Jocelyn was in, upper high school and college.
And they already, and they really show Jocelyn, they've showed her whole life, along with Spencer, along with Cameron.
Now,
you can't age up this new group to reach them. I mean, it's
not
just
to reach them. No, they could do it in 5 years. They could do it in 5 years.
Yes.
Once we're talking like 23 to 28 type of thing. We can get into that then. But it wouldn't be in like next year. Like Jake comes back to town and Jocelyn's starting to have some feelings. That I just don't see that. Especially since Cameron is the sibling that is of that age level.
That's
for now. You kind of got to establish the kids as grown up, because they've done that with Trina and with Cameron and with Spencer and with Jocelyn, that these kids have grown up.
I think the point is you can't soar as a minor to be an adult age to catch up.
Right.
It doesn't.
I think it just needs a little time to breathe. Jake is supposed to be older than Joss. Well, that boat sailed a long time ago. Joss skipped Jake a long time ago. When Eden McCoy came on, Joss was now older than Jake, and that's just the reality. Rick is perfect as is, says Michelle, and I can't agree more. I want Rick to stick around.
Gosh. I from what I understand, his arc is he doesn't have like a couple of year contract or anything. He's not on contract or anything like that. I got the impression that he's not going to be on the canvas for a long time. But I sure wish he was. Man, Rick is awesome.
He's really great. He really is. I guess in one of the previews is like, I've got a new client, so we're gonna figure out who that is. We'll find out next week, I guess. So we'll see. Maybe Jake and Joss will wind up together someday. Who knows?
But I would like the other lawyer to come back to town. The smarmy one.
Marty Gray?
No, Scotty.
Something's going on. Something's going on there. Oh no, Melissa, that's not the case. Anne is kissing Jason, so Joss can kiss Ace. Come on now, Melissa. like 50 and like 51 and 65. That's totally different than like 16 and 23.
Yeah,
that's way different. That's way different, Melissa. If they do break up Joss and Dex, they're going to need a guy for Joss. And there's a world full of actors. So,
well, I think I think that the story, that the character that needs a is Trina.
And Tabiana Lee will agree with you. I think she pretty much said so when she was on State of Mind with Maurice Bernard a couple of weeks ago. Because he's like, hey, so that. Trina, like, what's going on with Trina? And she's like, I wish I could tell you. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. I think they can. Just because Spencer's gone doesn't mean that Trina can't have any legs left.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It wasn't with Gio, that's for sure.
No.
It'll be with this new dude. Just give it time. Sam's dead. It took a bunch of time. Everything,
I thought it was going to be Isaiah for a minute until he started giving eyes to Jordan.
Once that balloon deflates, the Sam story balloon, once that deflates, we'll have more time for that sort of stuff. They've even already cast some college age dude to come through. There's pictures. People are excited. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think that's going to be it for us this week.
I think so too.
So, folks, we're getting out of here. Exactly. I think Trina's story is coming. Right, Chandra. See, she agrees with me again. So, hey. That it's the validation that I need. And it comes from Chandra.
Well, if you want to look for validation, I think that's a good choice right there. That's Chandra. She's pretty awesome.
She is pretty awesome. She is pretty awesome. But that's it. We're getting out of here. We're getting back onto the elevator, folks. We're gonna go back down to the first floor. Getting out of here. Okay. Wave goodbye to Elizabeth. Oh, she's busy.
That girl don't get to leave the hospital anymore, doesn't she?
No,
Oh,
she doesn't.
man.
She doesn't. But give a
That
high
head
five
nurse
to
job
security
is
on
a
your way out.
lot of pressure.
Oh, look, an ambulance is driving away, going to save somebody's life somewhere deep in Port Charles. Get into your cars and turn your radios to previous episodes of the 10th floor, which you can find on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. And as you speed out of here, running away from Jen Sidwell, you can follow us on Twitter if you can't find it. If you can't find our podcasts, our audio podcasts, reach out to us on Twitter at 10th floor GH, and I'll point you in the right direction. And I won't make fun of you much.
You know, Sidwell is like he's a mustache twirler, isn't he?
Wouldn't it be terrible if she found out that her daughter is dead? So follow us on Twitter at 10th floor GH and get into the soap conversation all week long as I randomly give you my random thoughts in 250 characters or less as I watch this stuff. That's also, you can keep up to date too when it comes to any like brief announcement that I want to make or any sort of quick change to the schedule or anything that comes up. I'm probably going to post there first before I think of anywhere else, because it's just the easiest platform. So give us a follow there. Don't follow anybody else, just us. It's probably best and healthiest that way. There's Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you very much, Lee, for contributing to that earlier today. There's super chats and stuff. So click the dollar bill and send to the send. I'm just out here with it. Please, just some change for us. Anyway, like the video if you enjoyed yourself. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Go spend some time with your families. I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
And we'll catch you next week right here on the 10th floor. Goodbye.
Bye.